James Elder, IFL TV, MTK Global. With me, I've got former Undisputed Cruiserweight King and former WBA Heavyweight Champion of the World, Mr. David HAYE. Firstly, you're looking very, very trim, very sharp, sir.
Thank you very much.
Let's talk a little bit about press conference today. We've got a chance to see you and Tony Bellew together again. How do you think today sort of went?
It's not as dramatic as a few people hoped. There was, the people were hoping that we'd have be rolling around on the stage up here, but I was on my best behaviour, even better behaviour than last time out. I think I am trying to get to grips with not biting back at somebody who's very easy to bite at and snap back at. Tony Bellew's a master of winding people up and getting under their skin, and I negated a lot of his verbal onslaughts today and tried to shut him down. But I'm fully aware none of what he says prior to the fight should matter come fight night. So why engage in it and get into playground tit for tat? You said this and I said that, and but yesterday, 1 year ago, you was like, really? Does it matter? Does it really matter? Who cares? So let him wind himself up.
Is it hard for you not to engage with him when he's throwing firing stuff at you?
It really is. It really is tough. It really is tough. Particularly, I'm someone who sort of shoots from the hip. If I say something, I'll snap back at him. Yeah, well, you try and call people out for contradicting themselves and whatnot. And sometimes you just got to let it go. Let it go. Take a deep breath. Because May 5th, all of the answers to all of these questions are going to be presented to everybody.
Last time out, you came in well over 16 stone. Do you feel that was the wrong game plan and the wrong weight to fight someone like Tony Bellew?
My weight wasn't a game plan to come in. It was never my game plan to be a certain weight. I just didn't think it mattered what I weighed for that fight. As long as I was 12 round fit going into that fight, I thought there's nothing really he could do or any game plan he can implement that would affect me. And I was wrong. I was wrong. He said that what he said prior to the fight panned out exactly the same. So maybe that crystal ball he's got is really, really on point. But I need to do something very, very, very different this time around. And I've made big changes and big differences in my training camp and working with different people. We've got Ismail Salas now, Ruben Tabarez. So I'm trying to sort of reinvent myself the best you can. But a lot of people say at the age of 37 there's only so much you can rewind the clock. You can repaint a car, you can put some new wheels on it, but the engine's the engine. What's in the engine? Is it still there? We'll find out May 5th. I believe it's still there, but as I said, I believed it was there on March 4th, and I failed. The car broke down and I lost. So can't be breaking down this time. I have to be on point physically, more importantly emotionally, because the emotional mindset I had going into that fight worked against me, and that was solely brought on by Tony Bellew. So congratulations to him. He did a great job, did a fantastic job in getting me in the zone that he needed me, in the angry zone, firing when there's no openings. He did a great job. So he's a master of mind manipulation. This time round, unfortunately, you can only fool me once, but not twice.
Do you think about the outcome of this fight? Do you visualise yourself winning this fight?
No. I don't visualise winning. No, I just visualise doing what I visualise being athletic, being fast, being razor sharp, like I used to be. In my last 3 fights, I haven't really showed anything in those fights to suggest that I have rewound the clock. Physically, you can see I didn't look like myself. So I'm looking at trying my very best to get back to what made me very effective for many, many years.
Joshua Parker for the unification clash. Yeah. Now, I know you're not going to be drawn into ifs and buts and what would happen, but do you have any aspirations to get yourself in the mix with them? Surely you must be doing a clinical job on Tony Bellew.
Yeah, for sure. I'd like to do a job on Tony Bellew that you'd expect a Parker, Anthony Joshua to do. So I don't believe Bellew lasts 2 or 3 rounds. I think he'd have to do very, very well to last 9 minutes with Anthony Joshua. And that's how I feel it should be with me. Last time out wasn't the case, but this time out let's hope that it's not all talk. And but on the flip side, let's just say I'm exactly as crap as I was last time. You guys have got yourself a good fight. You guys have got yourself a real ding dong. And if I come in missing, swinging, throwing uppercuts, getting caught with jabs, counter punch. Who the hell counter punches me? Tony Bellew does. So you have to. No matter what happens, it's going to be clinical. It's going to be entertaining. And people are going to get their money's worth.
We mentioned Anthony Joshua and Joseph Parker. In your opinion, who wins that unification clash and how? How do you see it?
I think so. It's a very good fight, but I just believe Anthony Joshua is fighting on home soil. He's had the big fights, the big occasion. He's fought in the packed-out arenas. Joseph Parker hasn't yet. It's going to be something new for Joseph Parker, and it's going to be same old for Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua's fought, in my opinion, the better opposition. He fought, looking at similar opposition, Carlos Takam took Joseph Parker the distance in a tough fight. It wasn't that tough for Joshua, other than getting headbutted in the nose. He pretty much won every round. So you can only judge him on similar opposition, and on that opposition you'd have to go with Anthony Joshua. He's the guy who seems more consistent in terms of the level of opposition, and he's won on the big stage. So Joseph Parker will have to do something he hasn't done before, whereas AJ will just have to do something he's already done. So you'd have to. If I had to bet one way, I'd bet Anthony Joshua. But having said that, in the heavyweight division, anything could happen with a young fighter like Joseph Parker. We don't know what his chin's like. I've never seen anything to suggest he can't take a big right hand, he can't take a left hook. So if he can take Joshua's punishment early, the second half of the fight could be very interesting. So I'd definitely go Anthony Joshua before 6 rounds. After 6 rounds, we could be in for a very, very entertaining fight.
March the 3rd, we see Deontay Wilder defending his WBC strap against Luis Ortiz.
Yeah.
Huge fight for Wilder in terms of the acid test we've all been requesting of him. How do you see it?
Genuinely, I think this would have been an acid test 5 or 6 years ago. This would have been tough, but now I just don't think it. I think it's the fights. I saw Luis Ortiz fight in Monaco, I think. And he looked so slow and sloppy. He didn't look good at all. He looked like an old man who used to have some skills, but now just doesn't. So I think he's been busted twice. Is it twice for failed two tests? So that's never a good sign. Because who did he lose those? Who did he fail those tests fighting? Like, no big names. So the fact that he felt the need to take something to beat some journeyman doesn't show that someone's got confidence in their ability to fight someone as dangerous as Deontay Wilder, who has stopped every opponent he's ever faced. I think he's going to I think he's going to clean him out in 3 rounds. Real destructive. The same sort of performance he put on Mr. Verne. Very similar. Maybe last a round or 2 longer. But I see Wilder just drilling him with a right hand right down the pipe and putting him to sleep.
Thoughts on old stablemate George Groves' win over Chris Eubank Jr. in the World Boxing Super Series to retain his WBA super title? Proud of George?
Very proud. It was a great fight. It was an awkward fight for me because I'm friends with both the guys, both George. George turned professional with myself and had most of his early fights on Haymaker shows and on my undercards, and obviously. Junior as well. I've known him for some years. We've been in Miami together, training and whatnot. So when that fight happened, I sort of took a step back and just, you guys crack on, let the better man win. And the better man, by a long shot on the night, was George Groves. He boxed to a solid, educated game plan, utilised his advantages, which was his jab and that straight right hand down the pipe. He really was very impressive and showed why he is the first seed. It's the reason why he's seed number 1 is because he does those performances. A lot of the belief in Chris Eubank Jr. was on potential, on what we believed he could do, not what he had done up until that point. You think Yildirim, the guy he knocked out, the Turkish lad he knocked out, showed me that he's got that one punch power, but that was against a guy coming at him. George Groves doesn't let his chin hang out for anybody. So I'm very, very, very happy that it was a good, clean fight. It's a shame that Chris Eubank Jr. got such a bad cut, and it was a shame that George Groves dislocated his left shoulder. But both guys earn good money. Both guys can move on. George Groves can fight in the finals, and Chris Eubank Jr. I think it prudent if he probably moved down a weight, as you know, he wasn't renowned as being a huge middleweight puncher, but I think his punch power will be more effective at middleweight than it was at super middleweight, as you know, George Groves could never in a million years make super middleweight, so he couldn't make middleweight, whereas Chris Eubank Jr. could. I think it's very harsh people telling Chris Eubank Jr. to retire. You know, as amusing as it was, as funny as it was, you don't really hear commentators saying that for a reason. What it seemed like to me is NASEEM Hamed might have bet a few £100,000 on Chris Eubank Jr. on the strength of what his dad was saying, and when it didn't happen, he just really wanted to stick the boot in, which is pretty harsh for someone who's supposed to be impartial and just saying what they saw. But you know, that's NASEEM Hamed. NASEEM Hamed's never towed the company line, and he keeps it a little too real at times. So as amusing as it was, I thought it was uncalled for. I believe that Chris Eubank Jr. has many more years of boxing left in him. Go back down to his natural weight of middleweight, and get a world-class coach who he trusts and listens to, and he'll be fine. He'll be fine.
Thank you very much.
But once again, George Groves is #1 in the supermat division for a reason, because he puts on those types of performances when the pressure's on, when the heat's on. He's learned his lessons in the past, and this is for him to solidify his super middleweight legacy as one of the best super middleweights we've had.
David Haye, I could talk to you all day. Thank you very much for giving our activities some of your time today. We look forward to the build-up. Hopefully it brings as much excitement.
Hopefully I won't bite. I'm going to try my best not to bite. I'm going to try.
Do what you've got to do. Thank you very much for your time, sir.